name is rhianaB, and welcome back to another episode of my Survivor Review. So let's go ahead and start with the aftermath of last week's Tribal Council, and things were getting very confrontational between Allie and Ryan. Basically, Allie felt betrayed by Ryan because he went along with Chrissy instead of keeping Rourke in the game. So, confrontation over that, and basically this is a big test of what their alliance used to be. Now, we know Allie and Ryan have been together since day one, since they were both on the same original Hustler tribe. But as of now, those lines are kind of starting to blur and starting to disappear. So basically the question is, can Ryan and Allie reconcile, and can they work together again after Allie has felt so betrayed? And also, I need to say this, in the last episode, I got the Red Tribe. The name, I was saying it completely wrong for the entire last episode. It's actually pronounced Yawa. Now I know how to say it, so now I can look more like a professional. So on Yawa Tribe, we had Mike, who was kind of being a little bit of a fisherman, a little bit of a cook. Went a little awry because he dropped his fish in the fire and it ended up burning to a crisp, but he still ate it anyway and he shared. So Mike has kind of turned into this really likable guy who can provide, maybe not as much, but he can provide, and he's more likable. But on the flip side, we have Cole, who's still kind of like, I kind of want to say he's like, maybe like, the young, and I hate to say immature because that seems like such a bad term, but like a young, immature kind of a guy who doesn't really know how he comes across to other people, so he just does whatever he wants, and he won't think that he basically thinks people are going to like him no matter what he does, which in the game of Survivor, that is not how that works. So a lot of people are kind of ganging up on Cole. They really don't like him all that much. They find him lazy, they find him rude, bit of a hog when it comes to food, and we'll actually get to that part later on in the review. Basically, Cole is starting to, is kind of overstaying his welcome. And then we're back at Soko Camp, and we have JP. Now, Ryan sees that JP is someone who's a big provider, he is good in challenges, but he sees that as a major threat, and as he should, because we're getting to the halfway point in the game, and strong physical players, they really tend to dominate individual challenges. So Ryan understands that they probably need to get JP out as soon as possible so they can eliminate a physical threat once they've hit the merge. And also another thing that Ryan doesn't like about JP is that JP, he isn't really social, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He really just doesn't talk strategy with anyone, or at least if he does, it's very sporadic and it doesn't happen that often. So Ryan sees that as a big threat that he can really keep to himself very well. He doesn't talk strategy with anyone. He seems like he's not really in the game. And honestly, you can look at that and see that as a benefit to you because he could be easily played and you can easily bring him onto your side. But Ryan sees it as a threat because he's not talking to anybody, especially he's not talking to him, which means no one knows what's going on in his head. So I think that Ryan's theory on JP is kind of true. He can definitely keep things very much to himself, and you won't ever know what his plans are until he executes them, or he won't tell you, but he'll tell somebody else, and that can really hurt your game. So we go back to Levu Camp, and basically we're still in the divide that it's Desi and Joe versus Ashley and Devin. And Devin and Ashley have this conversation of, will they go to Rocks if they go to Tribal Council? Or can they get Desi to flip on Joe? And Desi even says in her confessional that she is willing to take Joe out of the picture if she sees it as he is not going to benefit her game. Because basically, as of now, she's keeping it low. She's not making herself a huge threat. She's kind of letting Joe take that target, which he does have a big target on his back. But she understands that if Joe stops using her as a benefit to her, then that's really going to hinder her game, and if that happens, she'll try to cut ties as soon as possible so she doesn't get hurt in the process. So Desi, I think, is a really smart player. She's really underrated, I think, this season, but she's doing a really good job of playing that not as important sort of a alliance member, keeping it very quiet, will follow what you say, but she's a smart girl, and I really think that once we hit merge time, she can really shine as her own individual player. So, one part about tonight's episode that got me very frustrated was that, first, Joe finds the clue to the hidden immunity idol, and instead of going to bed like everyone else on his tribe, he looks and he finds the damn hidden immunity idol. I swear to God, he is legit, Tony 2.0 and maybe a little bit of a Russell Hanson there. He is finding idols so damn fast. And it's really annoying because I wish someone else could have found it. I would have loved Devin to have found that idol. But no, freaking Joe finds it, and he has it in his back pocket. Oh boy. I'm not the biggest fan of Joe. I don't like it when people are like purposefully cunning and deceiving just to get a means to an end. I prefer it if you're in a situation where you have to do that, then you have to do it. His style of gameplay just does not sit well with me, so I find it kind of sucky that he finds the damn hidden immunity idol, but what can you do? So a scary moment that happened in tonight's episode, which I did talk about last episode in the what was going to be appearing this week, was Cole passing out. Now, we didn't know last week in the previews what that really meant. We just saw he passed out, and that could be a multitude of different things. Is it just dehydration and maybe lack of food, or is it possibly a heat stroke? Are there any other attributes that could fit into it? But we find out it's basically just him passing out because he hadn't had much water to drink and he wasn't eating that much. And there are some different outcomes from this event happening. So first we have Jessica, who feels like she's really getting closer to Cole because of this incident. So, we see her, making him rice, making him feel comfortable, making sure he's okay. And I swear, and I really think once the reunion happens, I want to know if they really did have a relationship outside of the game, because I am starting to see some sparks fly. Well, granted, they've been sparking a while, but like in tonight's episode, it kind of reestablished the fact that they may be more than just an alliance couple. But anyway, on the other end, we have everyone else, which includes Lauren, Mike, and Ben, seeing that Cole is kind of starting to break down a little bit. They see him passing out as like he wasn't prepared to take on the physical demands that this game provides. And now they're at the point of they really think they need to get rid of Cole. He's okay in challenges, but they have Ben, who's a pretty strong, he's a Marine. He's good in challenges. And he really doesn't do much outside of the challenges. And they see that as a big downside to their tribe. And if they were to go to tribal council, I would have to say Cole would definitely get blindsided. So now moving on to the immunity challenge, and oh man, this challenge was stressful. I literally was just like this, or I was like this, like I did not know what was going to happen. It kept going back and forth from different tribe to tribe, being in the lead and not being in the lead, But we finally had winners. We had Yawa win first place, and then we had Levu winning second place, which means Soko goes back to tribal council. And on the tribal council chopping block, we have Allie and we have JP. So like we mentioned earlier, the big conflict is, are Ryan and Allie going to make up and reconcile what happened last tribal? And are they going to get past that so they can vote together tonight? And honestly, it could go back and forth. Allie goes to Ryan and Chrissy, talks about strategy, saying, oh, we can get JP out. But still, there's the possibility of JP going out because Ryan sees JP as a huge threat. So really, what's going to happen? And whose pros and cons are the best to keep around? JP is strong in challenges. We've already established that. And also, he doesn't talk a lot of strategy, and he's not as social with everyone else. That's the con. On Allie's side, she is a very smart, social, and strategic player. She's been with Ryan since day one. She can easily keep alliances together. But also, because of her backlash at Ryan after she felt betrayed, that did put her in a very bad lighting. So that's the con with Allie. But we get to tribal council, and honestly, I even found this as a shock, but Allie was actually voted out, making Allie the 6th person to be voted out of Survivor, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. I don't know if I technically agree with that move, because Allie was a loyal person, at least if you were in her alliance. So I don't quite understand why they decided to take her out now, because definitely once a merge hits, you're gonna need those numbers. And she was a number, and I felt like she was a more reliable number than JP, because JP doesn't really talk strategy with anyone. So who knows what's going on in his head. So personally, I see the Allie elimination as a big mistake, but we're gonna just go ahead and move on to next week because I've been saying it all throughout the episode. We are finally gonna have the merge next week, and that means it's every man for themselves. Things are definitely gonna change, alliances are gonna change, and people are gonna get hurt. Things are gonna happen. Ooh boy, it's an exciting time when merge time comes. So since we're gonna go into the merge next week, I'm not gonna be able to really say who I think will be going. I can't say who exactly will go home, but I can say who I think the biggest targets are. Definitely Joe, #1 target. He has found multiple idols. He's very cunning, very deceptive. I think a lot of people already know that Joe is the big threat, so he may be out if he doesn't win immunity. I think Cole, unless he finds a good alliance alongside Jessica, if the two of them can find some other members to join their side, he may be safe, but if not, he could be in trouble because of his annoying behavior, according to everybody else. I mean, Chrissy could also potentially be in a bad spot, again, if she doesn't find allies. She's close with Ryan, and Ryan is close with Devin, so that makes 3, but again, they're gonna need to get more people on their side. I don't know, next week is going to be crazy with the merge, anything can happen, so we're just going to have to wait and see till next week and see what comes about. Alright guys, that is it for my Survivor review. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, what did you think of this week's episode, and if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today, and until the next video, bye! Mwah!